The true events that inspired The Exorcist are rooted in a chilling case of alleged demonic possession and exorcism that took place in 1949. Although the famous horror novel and film adaptation by William Peter Blatty took creative liberties, the core story drew heavily from these real-life occurrences. The case revolved around a young boy known as Roland Doe, whose identity was kept confidential to protect his privacy. Roland's experiences with what many believed to be demonic possession began in January 1949 in Cottage City, Maryland. His aunt, a spiritualist, introduced him to Ouija boards and conducted seances, which was where some believe the trouble began. As strange and disturbing events began to unfold, Roland's family sought the help of both medical and religious professionals. Roland's behavior took a bizarre turn. He displayed an aversion to religious objects, spoke in foreign languages he had never learned, and exhibited unusual strength. Scratches and markings inexplicably appeared on his body, leading his family to believe he was under the influence of a malevolent force. Frightened and unable to find a rational explanation, Roland's family turned to their Lutheran pastor, Reverend Luther Miles Schulze. After observing Roland's behaviors and consulting with other clergy, Reverend Schulze recommended that the family seek assistance from the Catholic Church. He believed that an exorcism might be necessary to free the boy from the tormenting entity. The case eventually came to the attention of a Jesuit priest named Father William S. Bowden, who, along with several other priests, became involved in Roland's exorcism. Father Bowden enlisted the help of Father Walter Halloran, who later recounted the events of the exorcism. The exorcism of Roland Doe was a grueling and protracted process, taking several weeks to complete. The events that unfolded during the exorcism were both eerie and terrifying. Roland exhibited superhuman strength, would speak in Latin and other languages, and the entity possessing him often responded to the priests with profanity and blasphemy. The exorcism rituals were intense and challenging. Roland was bound to a bed to prevent him from harming himself or others. Holy water, prayers, and religious artifacts were used in the exorcism attempts. The battle between the priests and the malevolent force was a harrowing and exhausting ordeal. Finally, after numerous sessions, the exorcism was deemed successful and Roland was freed from the alleged demonic possession. He returned to a normal life, and his identity remained a secret to protect his privacy. While the real-life events of Roland Doe's possession and exorcism provided the inspiration for The Exorcist, it's important to note that the film and novel took significant creative liberties to create a more dramatic and terrifying narrative. The Exorcist is a work of fiction, and the events portrayed in the movie are highly sensationalized and dramatized for the horror genre. Nevertheless, the true story of Roland Doe's exorcism remains a fascinating and haunting chapter in the annals of paranormal and religious history.